Well, hello, shooters. All right, so moving on to another area, we have two elections going on right now. I know the presidential election is over and we should have results any moment now, probably during this live with my luck. But we have Area 7 and Area 4. I had Lee on last night, so we've got Bill Godbold coming on today from Area 4 to talk about his bid for the Area 4 area director role. So we're going to get him in here momentarily, I'm sure of it. He should be a little more active on Instagram, so it should be easy for him to figure out how to get in here and get added to the chat. But as I do with all of these, I've got a list of questions, but any questions you guys have for these candidates, please go ahead and punch them in to either the chat where I can see them, bottom, and add a question that way. Hey, there he is.
Hello.
All right. Welcome, Bill. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Bill?
Oh, I'm fabulous. Bill and Bill. This is going to be like a weird little thing. All right, so you put a bid in for being the Area 4 director. So welcome to the shit show. We want to hear a little bit about you. That way people can ask some questions. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do for a living?
I'm an attorney. I live in Bryant, Arkansas. It's a little bit outside of Little Rock. I practice mainly bankruptcy, mainly on the debtor side. Also, I do some creditor work, mainly for smaller creditors, not institutional creditors. Um, I've also I do some business formation stuff, nonprofit formation, uh, that sort of thing. Uh, so I'm familiar with how nonprofits work, how businesses work. That type of thing. Um, uh, yeah, I've been a licensed attorney here in Arkansas since 2014.
Seemed like you ran out of things to say about yourself for a
Yeah,
second there.
yeah.
All right. Well, so you're doing a bid for the Area 4 area director. So what does Area 4 encompass statewide?
Area 4 is Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
Oh, wow. That's a lot shorter list than the areas around here. Oh, my God. Lee has
Well,
like, I don't know, 12 or something.
yeah. Well, I mean, Texas is pretty big, so.
Well, it is a very large, yes, yes. It's almost a small country within itself, isn't it? So how long have you been shooting in general?
Uh, Shooting in general, I've been shooting in general since about 2010. I didn't start shooting competition until about 2018.
So did you go right into shooting USPSA? Did you play around with other practical shooting sports?
Uh, I'm in Arkansas. IDPA is pretty big here. So
Sure.
I've done IDPA and USPSA.
Okay. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to hold that against you. All right. So you've been playing so is that 4 years total you've been shooting
Yeah,
practical shooting sports? Okay.
yeah.
Wow, you went right into loving it so much you wanted to see about helping the organization run it, huh?
Well,
Um,
I mean, when you first get started, that's when your enthusiasm is the highest. I think after a few more years, that's when people start burning out. So I wanted to get involved before the burnout hit in.
so you haven't learned to hate yourself for choosing this as your hobby yet.
No, not yet.
Well, I mean, I went through your Instagram. You've been through a couple Dylan presses, haven't you?
I'm still on the same Dylan press. I've been through 3 or 4 different link arms. It's I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what my problem is with those, but I've broken on three or
Well,
four link
I,
arms in
I learned
half.
I learned a couple things just scrolling through your Instagram feed from going back to when you started it, and it was mostly you've broken a couple Dylan links. You like tacos,
Yeah,
and I
we've
gotta
got
tell
some
you,
good street taco places around here.
I was a fan myself. So you've been shooting USPSA 4 years. So how much in that 4 years, how much of the area have you actually managed to get around to as far as Area 4?
I've shot at several different clubs here in Arkansas. I've shot at USSA Tulsa in Oklahoma and Oklahoma City in also in Oklahoma,
Hmm.
and I've shot at uh, the North Texas Open. It's at the Collin County range outside Dallas, and I took a class outside Austin,
So is it like
Texas
six,
as well.
about six ranges
Yeah,
uh, for competition? That seems like there'd be more than that in Area 4.
there are more than that. Uh, there's I've shot with some of the guys who shoot with. They're from Lafayette. I don't remember what the name of their range is down there.
Hmm.
They shoot with Blake McGiz. They're
Okay.
good guys. Shot with them at Area 4 a couple years.
So I imagine if you win the bid for area director, you'd probably get around a little bit more to those clubs that you haven't made it to yet.
For sure.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I mean, gotta hear from them, right?
Right.
So let's see. So up to this point, 4 years of shooting the sport. Uh, what have you done within the sport other than shooting? Have you done any volunteerism? What do you got going on?
Uh, let's see. I mean, I've helped out some at the local club here, Central Arkansas Shooters Association.
Hmm.
Um, and I've emailed Chad a few times with my opinion on things, which I'm sure he is less than thrilled about that.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
an opinion's nothing to you just got to get your information out there, be heard from, like you're going to hear from your constituents. So that's not
right.
a bad thing.
Um, and I'm not an RO yet. I am registered for the RO class that's going to be at uh, in Fort Smith later this year. I
Okay.
think in August. So I'm going to take that class. And
I'm sure
once
you've
I
held it. I'm sure you've held the timer at a couple club
I
matches.
have held the timer, yes. Uh,
It's
yeah,
just more now getting it official at this point.
correct.
Right.
Uh, and uh, let's see.
Well, so I mean, I'm not trying to stump you here, right?
Yeah,
So it doesn't seem like you've got a big long work history as far as like managing a club or
no,
or
no,
anything like that, right?
I haven't
So
done anything like that.
no, that's fine. I mean, you've got a different path that you're coming up from, so it's completely understandable. So you have, let's see. So why is it that you want to be the area director for Area 4?
I think that my professional experience as an attorney is going to be a big asset to the organization. I think my my professional skills uh, are something that the organization can make use of, and I think uh, that's a way for me to volunteer in a sense.
No, I
Uh,
mean it's a yeah. Taking on the area director role has got its small ups and a lot of downs. So yeah,
right, and we've these.
it's all right. So
We've
you were saying about why you want to be area director.
Yeah, like I mean, we've got 36,000 members, uh, and we've got all these members have all these different skill sets, and uh, you don't have to. I don't think the members have to necessarily work their way up, uh, spending time, on the board of a club, and then as section coordinator, uh, and spend years uh, working their way up the chain of command, so to speak. If they have a skill set or particular knowledge, that sort of thing, that is useful to the organization. I think the organization should make use of that. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
the whole chain of command thing doesn't really work the way people thinks it works for USPSA. With
right,
everything being affiliates and things like that, and the sections being in control of themselves.
right.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to, so we're leaning on your experience for what you do for your career. So how long have you been doing your career?
8 years.
So you've been at it 8 years, and then
Yeah,
now you can apply what you've learned from that to try to help the organization. So
correct.
okay, fair enough. Um, so let's see. Uh, what are some of the goals that you want to do? What coming into this, you obviously have an opinion, and there's some things that you want to try to change. What are some of the things that you want to do to improve the organization?
Um, so one thing I want to do is, and this is going to sound odd, I want to not change a lot of stuff. Uh, I think one thing we've been doing over the last several years, even since before I joined USPSA and started practical shooting, is there's been a lot of, uh, there's been frequent change, both in division rules and uh, bylaw changes. There's just been a rapid sequence of changes. And this hasn't been good for, I don't think it's been good for members. I don't think it's been good for, um, members have been, you have to buy new gear. You don't know whether your gear is going to be good next year. You don't know whether it's going to be good later this year. Uh,
For the next nationals that's on its way a couple weeks away.
exactly, exactly. That's exactly right. You don't know whether it's going to be good for. You don't know whether you're going to have to buy a new flashlight and a holster for the nationals that's in 2 months. Um, uh, I I think, I mean, it's good for equipment manufacturers. It's good for retailers, but it's not good for the members. And I think we need to not change division rules. I think the new bylaw changes that went into effect in January uh, say that rules go through the equipment or the rule committee every September, I believe.
Uh,
September, October. It's once a year.
right, there's a whole path there, and then if it does
Yeah,
get approved, then it ends up actually becoming active the following year. So
right. I think that's still too frequent. I would prefer once every 2 years at the most frequent, or maybe even once every 3 years. But uh, I mean, I would prefer not, like, if we're going to not, I would prefer not changing anything right now.
sure.
Like, we've
So
changed too much stuff for now. I say we just leave things alone and see how things shake out.
So
Uh,
it sounds like you want some stability in the rules and the bylaws.
yes.
Is there anything else that you're focusing on going in?
Uh, I think we want. I would like more transparency. Uh, I know, particularly with the recent board of directors minutes, uh, over the last 6 or 8. Um, I don't. I don't remember how. Over the
It's okay.
last 6 months, maybe they've been getting more. Uh, they've been getting clearer as to what happens.
Yeah.
Uh, as as opposed to maybe a year ago or even earlier than that. So
Yeah.
they've been trending uh, in a positive direction, and I would like for them to get even better.
Right.
Uh, Previously, the minutes read more like a meeting agenda. This is what, like, it was a list of topics. It didn't really say what happened with those topics. It was just,
Yeah.
here's what.
It was really bad for quite a long time, and like you said, just recently we just started getting much better minutes. So, and like you said, it's been getting a little bit better each time. So,
Yeah.
It's like getting used to the idea of putting more stuff in there.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so that's kind of the things you'd like to improve about the organization. Is there anything that you want to do that you think can help improve your area?
Like I said, I haven't been everywhere in Area 4. I think Chad has done a good job as an area director. Um, without having been everywhere in Area 4, I don't know uh, that I would say. I mean, I think things seem to be fine right now. I
Mm.
don't know that I would say anything needs to be improved or worked on. I plan on trying to go to as many clubs in Area 4 should I be elected.
Oh
Uh,
no, I get it.
yeah,
Especially just trying to get around Texas will be a massive
right,
accomplishment on its own. But yeah, so just trying to get the sense of what's going on at the clubs around you, maybe things you can improve. I mean, there's really not a whole lot you have the authority to do. I'm just kind of interested to see what you guys might be trying to accomplish. That's where I'm
right.
going with that question. One of the things that you would like to do is get a lot more input from the people in your area as far as making decisions go.
Yes.
How do you
Um,
how do you intend to gather that information?
um, I mean, in person feedback would be great. I would rather have um, email feedback so that there's a record. Um, and, 4 states, when one of them is Texas, Texas is huge. Uh, and, there's a lot of people in Texas. So it's way easier to keep track of everybody if you send email feedback.
Yeah,
And I think you get a better sense of what's going on if people send an email, even if it's a short 2-line email saying, I like this, I don't like that. It doesn't have to be an essay. It could just
nice.
say, this is good, this is bad. Keep doing this, don't do that. Uh, why'd you run? Why'd you take off Chad? Whatever.
Well, so I mean, one of the biggest roles that you'll have, other than being on the board, is making sure the area match happens. So is there anything that you've seen going on with the area match that you want to improve? Are you planning on keeping the same kind of people in charge? How's that going for Area 4?
I think it's been a good match the last few years. I've shot it um, last 2 or 3 years, I believe. It's been a good match. It's been at Old Fort in Fort Smith and at uh, USSA in Tulsa. Um, and those are good clubs. Um, Chad has a good crew that puts on the match. Uh, there's a big range in Dallas that I think would be a good place to hold it. Um, we've got
Are
something like 20 or 30 bays. I don't remember what the name of it.
are you planning on trying to manage that match yourself, or are you planning on putting a match director in there?
I would probably put a match director in the first year at
Okay.
least.
Yeah, because that's going to be a big step going from
Yeah,
helping set up some matches to trying to direct.
yeah,
It's a big jump no matter when you do it. So, yeah, good
yeah,
luck with that for real. It is a lot of work on top of everything else you volunteered to do.
yeah.
Um, let's see. All right. So I've only got two more questions on here, and then there's people already asking questions. So, I mean, I went back through your Instagram feed just because I kind of do that with everybody that is
Yeah.
actually active on social media. So you've been pretty largely critical of the goings on either with the previous administration or the current board. Are you ready for that kind of criticism yourself?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be pretty sad if I could dish it out and not take it.
That would be really sad, especially when it comes things to like whole things with the board, all of them. is what the
Right.
decisions become. But it'll be interesting. You know, going from the outside, stepping in and getting ready for that kind of criticism, basically,
Yeah.
of every decision you make. And there's been, I'm not saying there hasn't been problems. So with that criticism, have you spoken to the other area directors? How is, I mean, how do I go about this question? So you've got what, like 8 other people that you have to work with to try to accomplish anything. Have you spoken with these guys? How do you expect those conversations to go?
I talked with Sherwood the other day. Um, I haven't really talked with any of the other area directors. Um, I mean, as one person, I wouldn't be able to accomplish anything on my own. I would have to work with them to try to achieve a consensus. Um, you know, you're one person on a board of 9 people. You know, you can't do anything by yourself. Uh, you got to get 6 votes,
Yeah, yeah.
5
I mean
votes.
that's why I ask. You know,
Yeah,
have you had a lot of contact with those guys? It sounds like the only guy you really talked to so far is Sherwin. So,
yeah.
all right. Well, let me dive into some of the questions we've got coming on from other folks. One
Okay.
is is there any reason that you think you'd be a good area director? Is there any reason he thinks he would be a good area director other than being a lawyer? That was the question.
Uh,
Anything other than your lawyer qualifications make you qualified to be on the board of directors is basically what the question came down to.
yeah. I mean, that's the main thing.
Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
it's not invalid. It's just, is there anything else? That was pretty much the question. Thoughts about the new proposal from people for carry optics single action? I saw your water
Uh,
eyes. You can't hide
yeah.
that from the video forever.
I can't. I would prefer. I don't particularly like it. I would rather keep our rules closer to IPSC's rules,
Hmm.
and you know, going. There's already a place for uh, single action carry optics to shoot, and that's in open. Um,
Well, with you wanting to keep everything kind of stable for a while, it seems like that would be a bad addition right off the
right.
bat.
Also, that.
Yeah, the history of that is actually pretty wild when USPSA made the decision to pull away from the IPSC rules. I've learned a lot asking questions. It's ridiculous.
Or we could bring back IPSC modified, and
Yes, I saw somebody mention that. Whatever fits in the box goes.
right.
All right. Yes, Range Panda. I do dislike PCC, but I've told many people why. Um, all right. So you don't want to change the rules, but what do you think you'll do to improve Area 4, or what do you think needs to be improved about Area 4?
Um, and I think we already did that
Yeah,
question.
I think we tackled that a little bit. It seemed like just a different way of asking the same question. I'm reading this as I go, otherwise you're going to sit
Yeah.
here and watch me read for 10 minutes. Let's see. Somebody said he didn't prepare at all. No, I didn't actually send questions to people for these, so there was no preparation. It was just having a conversation, asking questions about why he wants to be. All right, let's see. Let's see. What's your plan to do in your first year of office? I guess the most pertinent question that I've got that's actually came up is, and I don't like to make it about other people, but actually, I won't make it about other people. We're talking about you right now and why you want to be area director. So I've actually run through all of the questions I've got from you guys. So if anybody watching right now wants to ask a question, hit the little question button, or you could just hit a comment in there. Otherwise, is there anything else you wanted to talk about your bid for Area 4 area director? that we haven't discussed?
Uh, no, if you're in Area 4, uh, I'm Bill Godbold. I'd appreciate your vote.
Oh, I said it wrong. How's it pronounced?
Godbold.
Oh, I did say you said it
Just like it
faster.
looks.
You said
Yeah,
it faster than I did. That's all.
yeah.
Okay, I got it. I do enunciate names very badly, so it would be
That's
beyond my skill set to mess it up.
not a problem. I appreciate you having me on, Bill.
All right, man. So, I guess I haven't gotten any additional questions, but I really appreciate you coming on. Definitely good luck. Uh, if there's, if there nobody has anything else, I'll let Bill go and I can go eat my sad dinner. It's a salad. Oh God, I'm so sad. I want tacos now from scrolling through your Instagram feed. So nothing I eat other than tacos will fill the void.
Oh,
Let's see.
it's a shame.
I did get two more while I was waiting. So let's see. So you did, okay, that's a fair enough question. You said about bringing the rules closer or not, keeping the rules closer to IPSC. Why do you think USPSA rules should be closer to IPSC rules? As far as division,
Uh,
anyway.
that's my personal preference. I think if practical shooting is going to be a sport, I think we should try to have it be an international sport. And, if we want international competitors to come here, if we want our competitors to go internationally and, beat everybody there, we should want to have the gear and everything be consistent for everybody to do that. And if that's going to be the case, we should have the division rules be closer to what they are, and maybe have like a level 1 exemption for targets and that sort of thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, actually, with the magnet rules, that's added a huge closeness to
Right.
some of the IPSC rules. So that was I've had to bump somebody to open years and years ago over that. An IPSC shooter came over with his mag holsters, and I told him he was getting bumped. He thought he was getting DQ'd. He couldn't understand. So that was a sad situation. But yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know if you have any other hobbies. I know Lego is one, so you'll have to explain any other hobbies.
Yeah. Legos. I've built some of the big Lego sports cars, and I used to have hobbies, and then I got into shooting.
Yeah, you spent all your money on shooting. Now you can't afford other hobbies.
That's right.
That's what I see is when people go away from shooting, they end up like racing cars or motorcycles or something. It's like, wow, look at all this fun stuff I could do if I wasn't buying bullets.
Right.
So one of the questions I've gotten on here is, do you have a stance on reversing any of the production carry optic rules that have gone through in the past, say, year or so?
So, my stance right now is we don't change anything.
Sure.
We leave it alone.
Do you think there's anything about those additional division rules that we've had over the past year or so that probably could be rolled back, given some time?
I think so. I think and this is kind of a getting closer to IPSC thing. I think the weight limit, I say get rid of the weight limit and just have a list and no box. And then, of course, to do that, you have to get rid of the small part rule. Like, you can't really change anything, but there's no weight limit. Now, IPSC lets you change some stuff. You can change grips, grip panels, base pads, and you can change parts to manufacturer parts. But, I think right now you don't change anything because, people have spent all this money. And that's the big thing, right? People spend all this money to comply with the rules. They hack on their guns, and then to get their carry optics gun to weigh 45 ounces. And then they're like, okay, we're going to change the weight limit to be 59 ounces. And you can use a flashlight.
That's heavy.
And it doesn't even have to be a real flashlight. It could be a frame weight with a keychain light in it.
Yeah, I think I've discussed a few times with people about, how that was set up for failure from the get-go by not being as clear as it could have been. But yeah. Well, I mean, that's it, man. It wasn't really that hard of a thing to do. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good luck with the election, which I know has already started. So letting people know that if you like what Bill had to say and you want to go vote for him, jump on uspsa.org/vote and click on the Area 4 director. You can cast your vote right there. Of course, you have to be a resident of Area 4 to do that. So, all right, man. Thank you very much for coming on. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Bill.